Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Napoleon Total War with the Era Chapters mod. So with the newly released Victorian part of this mod, I thought we'd go ahead and play it. And so did you, that's why you voted for it. And you decided that we're going to play for the later part of the Victorian era, namely the 1864 to 1870. We're going to start in 1864, seems the best that way. And as per the vote as well, we're going to be playing as the Prussians. We're going to be playing on the highest campaign difficulty and battle difficulty. The campaign goals will be to unite all of the Germans into the German Empire. And with doing that, we're going to have to fight a lot of people, but mainly we're going to be fighting the Danish because we started war with them. Then we're going to have to fight the Austrians, and then finally the French. And with that setup, I think it's high time that we go ahead and start this campaign. But just before we go ahead and start the campaign, I will mention that paying YouTube members for my channel, get to name specific units that will take part in the campaign. And since this is the first one, even if you're not paying, you have a chance to name a unit for this campaign. So what I want you to do is down below, I want you to name your unit. So say Jonathan's Musketeers, and I want them to be a Musketeer unit. So type that below, and I will use some kind of randomized mechanic to pick one of these, and hopefully, as soon as possible, they will be put into the campaign. But with that, it's now time to start this campaign. And there we are on the campaign map. Let's quickly go over the named units right off the bat. And we only have one. Softcones, 3rd Battalion. It's a Musketeer unit. Everyone else is on the waiting list because the units have not been recruited yet. And it's Yangban, which has the 23rd Infantry Regiment. And then we've got, let's see, Joshua Thompson with the Grenadier Battalion, or Guard Grenadier Battalion. Next up is 2 cavalry units that also haven't been recruited yet, which can be found over in Prussia, namely the 1st Hussar Regiment, which is taken by Dragish Chen, and then the 5th Dragoon Regiment, which is Kurt Forkum, which have taken that. With that, let's go ahead and take a look at the situation as it is right now. So we've got quite a few unhappy nations. Mostly it's the French and the Danish, as we are currently at war with Denmark. Hannover is also quite unhappy, as well as the Austrians, the Greeks, the Pope, Spain and Portugal, Sweden and Norway, also the Belgians. But we have a few that's pretty happy with us. The Italians, the British, the Russians, sort of. Let's go ahead and set up trade deals, shall we? And I think, well, there's a lot of trade deals that we can actually set up. But in terms of setting up some, what's it called? Or on the high seas, as it were. Let's set up those first. Well, not that I think the Spanish will go ahead and declare war on us, but having them happy, or happier, with us is probably better. And they're quite a large country as well, so we'll probably gain a lot of cash from that. And then, of course, it looks like we're out of trade on the high seas, so now we go for all the smaller countries that are bordering us, so all the smaller kingdoms. And I just said that, and as I asked for trade with the Austrians. Our little cousins to the south. Hopefully at some point here I will be able to directly incorporate a lot of these kingdoms. Right. There we go. Now we're at trade with everyone, so our income has increased quite a bit due to all that trade. But now we also have to go through and build up our empire. There's a lot of these areas that are not fully built up, and let's start all the way out here. So this one will stay as it is. The thing is, I can't actually see, I can't click on this. So we're just going to go ahead and recruit a militia unit. Road, basic road, costs 400, that's fine. And the magistrate. So it's spending quite a lot over here to start with. Actually, maybe too much. What I want to do is I want a college out here. It's really too close to the Russians, but I don't think they will declare war on me, so that is just fine. Then for sort of being able to recruit units in these smaller towns is not optimal right now. It's later when we get to the technology uprising against the French where we get more of these named regiments that will be recruited in these smaller areas. But for now, there are none. So we're gonna go for tax offices on most of these places. Or switch it out so that we make money. So we've done that in a couple of these areas, and then we want to build out a lot of these. That one is in mine, but we want to build out a lot of these areas. So for these, I've already kind of checked these, and manufacturing gives quite a lot of wealth, but it also gives unhappiness. That could be handled by the capital, because I'm going to keep a lot of troops here anyways. But for the others, I think marketplace is probably the best. And as we go along, it could also be good to set up certain areas where we have the supply posts. As far as I can see, gunsmith isn't that useful. It will reduce the recruitment cost a bit. So if we go for this area where... There. Nope, that was not it. This one. Nope, that's a road. Where is it? There. Well, this might work as just as well. So the small arms will... reload time. Upkeep cost, recruitment cost, unhappiness, and recruitment cost. As I see it, 10% it's not going to do that much compared to what I think we can do with just gaining the wealth and actually getting money out of the province. So we're going to build a factory here, and now we're basically out of money. What I want to do is then we're not going to spend that much money out here, so now a little bit extra, so I can build a market there. And I think now here also is another area. We're going to build a market. Since we're just at war with the Danish, and we actually have a pretty good, if we go in here, we see that we are mighty and spectacular. So I don't think we're going to have the AI randomly declare war on us. So I'm going to be moving a lot of war material towards the Berlin area. Then we're going to be starting prepare to fight the Danish. We also start with an army out here next to Warsaw. Not entirely sure where we do that. Dying out in the snow, but they'll be making their way to Königsberg, where the Königsberg garrison will be making their way towards Berlin. Same with the West Prussians, or at least the Jaegers. The Landwehr units, will just split them, so we'll have one in each to hold down the area. And then we have an army up here. They will also be moving towards Berlin. It's already close enough. Then we've got this guy. What we're going to start off with is... I haven't really checked that closely, but I'm thinking economics to start with, and especially ones that will increase happiness. So we'll start with systematic smallpox vaccine. No anti-vaxxers in my empire for sure. So we're gonna start with that, and then lastly it's the spy. And the spy will be heading towards Denmark. And with that, the first turn is set up. And we'll go ahead and end turn, and we'll run it this way, and I'll keep building the same way I've planned here. And then at some point here, either we'll have a diplomatic situation where someone declares war on us, or something like that, or I will be ready to attack the Danish. Actually, before we go ahead and end this first turn right here, I will say there's a reason why I haven't chosen to go for the 40 stack armies, and that is because limitations of what you're able to recruit. A lot of these units hold limitations. So I could, of course, have 40 stack armies, but it would be that after the second 40 stack army, the rest of the 40 stack armies would like just be musketeers. And perhaps, no, not even cavalry. It would be just like musketeers in those armies. 40 stacks of just musketeers. And I don't think that's particularly interesting. So that's why I'm not gone ahead to increase it to 40 units. One thing that I do think since we're at war with Denmark, let's go ahead and move one of the musketeers over here just so we keep the port open. And with that, let's go ahead and have the end turns roll on, and hopefully we'll find ourselves at the end of this with a victorious battle over the Danish. Right, so we have a diplomatic solution from the Russians. They actually want a military alliance, so that makes sure that my most eastern border is secure. We do have, of course, the Russians holding Warsaw, so they're kind of right in the middle of that. So they not only is it an alliance which secures my eastern border, so I can see it's safe to do what I'm already doing, which is removing all the troops from over there, but they're also deciding to pay me 800 gold, which is perfect. We will accept. Thank you. And so finally, the army is actually ready to move. We started off in early January of 1864. It's now early July. Half the year has gone. But it took that long because I prioritized the economy first and building up all the different structures of the empire first before recruiting the troops, because I didn't realize they were going to take so long, these specialty troops. And as we can see, there's some over these 12-ish so turns, there's been quite a bit of change. As you can see here, the enemy is actually raiding us, but it's Denmark raiding the mines in our territory? That seems rather odd. Right, we have more troops recruited, building a grand opera house, and here is the army that is set to march against the Danish. So we have Johannes Kaufmann, or Gerhard von Blücher, however you want it. I think Blücher at this point is probably dead and buried quite a while ago. So it's Johannes Kaufmann is going to lead the army. He's got the Garde du Corps, and he's also got the Hussars, but more importantly, he's got the 1st Life Hussar with the Draghi Chen. Then he's got the 5th Dragoon Regiment, Forcum, Queen's Chosen Company. And as we go along, we get to Soft Cones, 3rd Battalion. And here at the bottom, we've got the 23rd Infantry Regiment, Yangban, and the Life Guard Grenadier Battalion, Gibbons Brigade. So all the currently the members who have chosen specific regiments have now been picked, and the army is ready to move. We're going to pass through Mecklenburg territory, and we're now just in a border against the Danish. So the big changes is that Sweden's gone ahead and declared war on the Danish. They landed a force over here, a small one that has been defeated by a Danish army over here. And that's about it for this conflict, besides of course that the Danish have gone ahead and blockaded my port, unfortunately, so we're not getting any trade through there. So it was good that I took the time to invest in my own country, to build that up, to make sure that we made some money there. The alliance with the Russians has fallen, however the Russians do not seem to pose a threat as of now anyways. The alliance with the Austrians fell, and then they reapplied for it, just that I had to pay 400, and I decided I'm not going to open any more conflicts anywhere, so 400, sure, Austria, you can have that. And as we go along, we'll see what nation has gone ahead and raided us. It is, in fact, the Dutch. So the Dutch have sent in troops because they declared war on us. And they've raided the area. I have recruited some militia battalions because that's the only thing I can recruit here. So right now, I didn't think the Dutch were actually going to be bold enough to attack us. They did declare war after all, but I didn't think they were going to come after me. But they did. And so we are building a second army under the commander. I'm not entirely sure actually. Yeah, actually probably the one that has the most stars. Alexander Lichtenberg will take command of the secondary army, which should be moving rather soon. We do not have a clear-cut way to get there, as I'm not negotiated with the Hessen-Kassel region for being able to pass through. Hopefully, though, it's a very small Dutch force that's moved in. 4 units. A number of units will spawn in this region as well. Hopefully, we can hold on to it before... Actually, you know what? Even rather than sitting here and waiting for the troops to be ready, I should start moving everything already. And why bother with not bringing everything? So let's bring everything. What I think we'll do actually is, since we're poised to attack, and you know what, this is my territory. Why don't we attack the Hanoverians with this army? I don't need 2 generals. One can go back to Berlin. Probably would actually need some more cavalry for this army. We have 2 hussars being recruited. So we have a little bit more cavalry, and then we'll fight the Hanoverians. Hopefully before they're able to build their star fort. That means that I have to attack before the cavalry arrives. Because the cavalry will arrive in 2 turns, will be recruited in 2 turns, and they won't be making it all that way in 1 turn. So we'll have to attack the Hanoverians before then. And looks like we'll be about ready to attack the Danish on the 3rd turn here. Hopefully no one else declares war on us. Oh yes, you got stuck over there. But you need to move to Magdeburg. Right. Maybe I should go ahead and negotiate already. Actually, I don't need to negotiate, because we're going to go ahead and declare war on the Hanoverians, which are allied with the Danish. So that makes perfect sense. We'll go ahead and declare war on them. Right. With otherwise, was there any other things that I need to say? In the bigger world, we might note that, oh, they did actually go ahead and declare war on the Danish again. And they're also at war with the French. And the French are at war with Hessen-Kassel. And the British are at war with the Spanish. The Russians are at war with no one. And, oh, the Ottomans are at war with the Spanish as well. And the Italians are also at war with Hessen-Kassel. The Austrians were at war for like a turn with the Bavarians, but I don't know, nothing happened there, so. Right, with that said, let's go ahead and, with the armies now in move, let's go ahead and end turn and see if we can't come to today's battle. Agent recruited. Another gentleman set up in Brandenburg. Great. Factory master. Good. And then this guy arrives as well. Which leaves me with a total of 4 in this region, which kind of stacks it. Factory master. 2 factory masters. That's good. This guy is bland as hell. And this one is civil technologies. Mostly what I'm doing right now is civil technologies. 2 guys over here, pamphleteer, happiness, and dusty librarian. And a factory master. Could move the 2 factory masters over here to increase the research, or specifically make that an area where I do factory research. But I think it will take so long for them to move. The Spanish and the Portuguese. Everyone is at war with Spain for some reason. Right. The Dutch have not decided to attack. And for now, I'm still be waiting for reinforcements. The main army will move up. Should I attack? No. I mean, we're here. It's in Schleswig, the area we're trying to save from the Danish. Save is an odd way of putting it. Right, I can move all the way over there. I am almost in reach of attack. Maybe I should have recruited something that took like 1 or 2 turns that could actually have joined in. Like a Jaeger. Okay, so they have quite a few different units. Musketeer Jaegers, lots of cavalry. Where I have none. Well, not nuns, but I have like no cavalry, that's what I mean. I have 20,000 now. It's quite a lot. Oh yes, one thing that I forgot right at the beginning, which I didn't show. It took me way too long to realize as well. I didn't reorganize the cabinet. But now I have. And the main point is that I've switched out the Justice one and the one for the Navy. So now we have a Knight for the Navy, and we have an Agrarian for Justice. I keep switching them out. Hopefully we'll maybe find someone even better to take their place. But that's what it looks like right now. With all that money, I should actually put that money to good use. And one thing that I did note while moving the specialty units, like the 1st Life Hussar and the 5th Dragoons, was that it took a hell of a long time to move them through here. So I think prioritizing movement in between Berlin and Königsberg is most important. Right. With that, I could go ahead and attack and throw these guys out, but I'm looking at a bigger battle, which looks like the Hanoverians will come first, because I don't think I will make it all the way to the Danish capital first. Let's make sure that they haven't allied with someone else. No, they're still just allied with the Danish. I will, however, go ahead and already now end the trade agreement, so they have maybe some clue as to what's going on. And I instead want to set up a trade agreement with... Who am I gonna set it up with? I will be setting it up with the Greeks. Why not? And they accept. Wonderful. However, of course, trade there is now blocked because we're the Danish, so are blocking it. I do want a secondary port. The most likely is I backstab my ally, the Mecklenburgians, and I build their port into a war port instead. However, I think once we've dealt with the Danish, their navy will be gone, and I don't have to worry about navy anymore. Right. There's nothing else, really, for those interested in technology. I've traded technology for most technologies that are not civil, and then I worked heavy on building out my civic technologies, mostly going for the ones that increase repression or happiness among the lower classes, since they get a little bit of they're not too happy of me building out the industries and so on. Right. With that, let's go ahead and see if anyone responds to my movements here. So we're quite far into Danish territory. Will they sally forth, or will they allow me to attack their capital? They're not building a fort there, are they? No. Great. Right. With that, then, let's go ahead and end turn and march on our enemies. A larger force has now moved in to attack us. They ask us to surrender. And no, I will not be surrendering. And that leads us to battle instead against the Dutch. They bring a total force of close to 2,000 men against my 2,300. However, they've got proper regular troops. They've got cannons, a howitzer even. And what do I have? Militias and armed citizenry. This is not looking good as a first battle. Maybe not a huge surprise that I lost that battle. The enemy deployed about 2,000 men and I deployed 2,300 roughly. We ended up losing the entire garrison while the enemy only lost 320 men. As you might have noticed, I decided not to actually show the battle, and that's because the militia and the armed citizenry were unmodded units. So they still looked as though they were from the Napoleonic era, with, what's it called, bicorn hats and so on. So it looked very much out of place. What I did show, though, was the Dutch. And with that, I also note the Dutch is sending an invasion force right here. I thought it was going to go quite easy. Seemingly, I was mistaken. Region lost, very bad indeed, and the army destroyed. However, intellectual advanced. Not entirely sure what we have here, but we did something. The Austrians and the Bavarians, Hussars in Brandenburg, Opera House in Eastern Prussia, and Ancillary Gain, Classical Scholar. Our scholars are doing very well. Okay, so we've got the main army able to make it all the way on to the main island, which is good. They can't block it, can't block my army, so that's good. But it looks like the main attack then is going to come right here. And it looks as though, no, the Hussars will not be able to take part. They will be able to back up the force though. And since the Hanoverians are allied with our enemies, I will go ahead and declare war on them. However, I will not call upon my allies for this expedition. Right. Let's go ahead and see. So this could be quite difficult then. Now, judging by this battle, obviously I had very much inferior forces to my enemy. Oh, I should say, one of the generals, I'm not entirely sure, it was from the main army that came in and attacked. I actually killed that general. And so it was the raiding force, the general from the raiding force. He took over and he's in charge of this army. Right then, here goes nothing. They will gain some reinforcements up from the north there. So I have a total force of 2,386 against their 3,300. They have some militia, Jaegers, but mostly we're looking at skirmishers for their part, and a whole lot of hussars. So they have a definite advantage in cavalry, since our hussars weren't able to even join in the battle. However, we have a clear advantage in artillery, as I have 3 batteries of 6-pounder artillery. We do have 1 dragoon. We have the 4th dragoon unit. We have 4 fusiliers, 1 Jaeger unit, and then a total of 6 musketeers. Right, here goes nothing then. Let's go ahead and conquer the Hanoverians. Our army is now in position. We've marched on to the high ground overlooking the town that the Hanoverians are holding. Currently they have set a unit in this house right here. And it looks like their entire army is shifting out towards that side. What I will go ahead and do is I will have the light infantry advanced first, followed by the line infantry, and then we'll order the 6-pounders to go ahead and dislodge those enemies that have decided to stay in town. We're doing really poor amount of damage on the houses. They are a lot. If that had been normal Napoleon Total War, the house would have been gone. We did 1%. That's gonna be quite hard to dislodge them then. It might be better to bypass them instead. Let's see. In terms of range, we do barely reach the enemy's army. Looks like the battle could be taking place right in these woods. For the second bombardment here, we didn't even take another percent out of the house. So I think we'll go ahead then and shift our force as well to stay away from the house. We do have some hussars in there, but nothing major. I do have my 1 dragoon unit that's following with the force here. Right, here comes another blast. We have 3% of the house. I'm sure we would have killed someone. We've opened up this window, unless this guy did it. They keep shifting their army. Maybe what I should do is I should move the guns, or set it to fire on the troops that are advancing here instead. Or move the guns forward so that we can actually take part in the fighting here. There is a risk here, of course, as the army is outpacing the cannons. I think, though, if I'm able to make contact with, say, using my Jaegers to start shooting at them, I think they will come back and start looking for a fight with us. And that is when they will come within range of my guns. Here goes the second round of cannon shots. Do hit the hussar unit behind there, but in terms of the infantry unit, it's unscathed. It is maximum range though for the 6-pounders, and he's just barely within range. Let's just hope that these units here doesn't come and attack us in the flank in a really bad way. I don't want them to march further out there. I'm gonna speed up the light troops here. And the regular infantry will no longer go for fire in advance. They will head to their regular formation. I think we need to spread out as long as possible here. See if we can get close enough to... Looks like someone has... at least one of their units have realized they're within range now. Oh, the Hussars potentially making an attack run here. I'm gonna hold the rifles right here. Okay, we got 2 units of Hussars attacking first. We'll form these 2 units into square. This hill right here is actually a bit of a problem. So these 2 light units will be moving back. So risk here of the rifles shooting our own. We have some movement here, but not a lot. I'll move the rifles like that. Dragoons hold back.
Our men are running, sir.
Oh, the Fusiliers were broken. First unit was broken by the Hussars. Here comes another Hussar attack. Line infantry into line immediately. I think we might have to send in the Dragoons as counterattack. Oh, we're about to get attacked here on the flank as well, potentially. Where is he going? Now when the musketeers have set up, the enemy gets hit hard. Alright, drop the square and retreat behind line. The rifles need to retreat and you need to form square. And you need to drop your square and retreat behind the line. And
our men are running, sir.
Dragoons out in the flank. Into line. Okay, the rifles broken. The square is holding though. There's so much smoke. Can't seem to organize my troops. We need to pull back and reorganize. What are the enemy's Jaegers?
Our men are running, sir.
Are moving straight onto us. This unit broke. God damn it. Their Hussars are breaking through. It's I should have figured the Hussars or the cavalry, just because the AI does those keep doing the silly cavalry charges constantly. Cavalry is boosted in the mod, so their cavalry charges actually does some damage. My Dragoons sent those enemies away.
Our men are running, sir.
Right, they broke that line, but now when I ordered the 6-pounders to destroy those units, that seemed to have worked out. The enemy is moving hard on us here. Line infantry back immediately. I need to send forwards the general to rally some troops here. Right. Everyone back. This turned into more of a disaster than I had anticipated. Right, 6-pounders hold, fire. Select target at will. Let's see how many troops I'm able to rally here. Sending forwards the general. We'll check the advance of these Hanoverians as they come out through the woods and get pummeled by my artillery. And hopefully with the support here of the general, we might be able to hold. I think most of the cavalry has been sent off, which is good. If I move them in here, there's no... oh, what's that? That's the enemy reinforcement, right. So what do I have left? 4 infantry, 1 light, 1 dragoon. As the enemy... are they sending another silly cavalry charge? The bastard cavalry. Yeah, their advance was halted. Keep going. Keep hearing those cavalry attacks. The enemy's reinforcements coming up over here, so they got fresh hussar coming in. Oh, you're back? Dragoons will check your advance.
Sir! Sir! Our general is under attack!
I highly doubt that. Alright, we're gonna see about actually getting these guys into line somewhere. Right. Dragoons sent away once, or enemy hussars sent away once more. Lights here. Line infantry across here. General in support, dragoons in support. Let's go ahead and micromanage the cannons a little bit here. Fire straight into that mess. I might be able to rally this 1 musketeer. Get a little bit closer. I think I need the dragoons here for counterattack if these bastards get in closer. We should start to open fire soon. These guys keep marching forward. But they get pummeled heavily by the... Oh, did I? Yes, I forgot to tell these guys to fire at will again. Which means they've waited until the enemy... You can see the whites of their eyes before we fire. Right, I'm gonna need dragoons up here to counter-charge. Right, the cannon fire plus the fact that we waited to fire towards the last moment. If these guys go any further, I will be able to use canister shot on them. The enemies are coming very close over there. I will withdraw the lights now. Just as the enemy Jaegers decide that they want to charge. We have have a large amount of enemy troops retreating. Could I potentially fire a canister? Yes, I can. They are close enough. Hold fire, switch to canister. Oh, you decided to leave. Alright. Okay, they're all specifically aiming kind of towards the Jaegers. For some reason, not everyone was ordered into canister. And they're still targeting the Jaegers. They should be targeting the Musketeers. That should see them off. Give them a few more canisters, will you? And the units are so tightly packed here. Alright, switch to round shot and fire at the unit further away. I feel like the rest of it should be handled by the line infantry. Two enemies closing in. Close call there. As my army got slaughtered by the enemy's hussars. The thing though is I'm pretty sure the boosted cavalry applies to me as well. So once I ordered in my dragoons, should be able to slaughter the enemy as well. The problem here is I wonder if this unit keeps sitting... I mean, if I surround a house and there's no one else left on the map, I should probably be able to destroy them. They aren't really able to rally any more of their troops. I will take my line infantry further back and play to my advantage here. I do in fact have 15 guns. And I do intend to use them to save the lives of my brave Prussian soldiers. Right, that unit that is closer, it's coming in at a perfect angle to get shot to pieces by the artillery. I would say though at this point that I have won. I feel that it's very unlikely at this point that the Hanoverians somehow would be able to pull off a victory, but I would need one decisive move to actually show that that is the case here. And I do think that is a charge by my dragoons. Let's order the artillery to focus on the musketeers further up the hill. And then I will order in the 4th Dragoons to deal with the enemy. The charge goes in.
Our men are running for
An infantry unit decided to run. Roll back slightly. There we go, my dragoons. Managed to secure a victory there. Oh! Lots and lots of my line infantry decided to give way all of a sudden. Not entirely sure why that is. Could be that it's one of those things where when you make the line very thin, that make the units unhappy, or like, or is it that we're out of shot? Right, I have 4 units of line infantry, 3 units of cannon, and 1 dragoon. Plus the general's right here, right behind you. You're currently not even targeted by the unit. It's the 1 strong unit. Oh, don't touch my strong arm! And then the dragoons, even though they're tired, will be able to swing in, attack through the back. And once this unit is defeated, I am victorious. But it's at a very heavy cost, and definitely gives me pause to think, for sure.
Our men are running.
Okay, maybe
sir.
my cavalry is not as boosted. It's not as boosted as the enemy's is. Or it could be that, of course, mine were very tired while when the enemy did their attack, they had fresh troops. But there, finally, we broke that unit. Now we do have a fresh musketeer coming in, but he will be pummeled into the ground. By my cannons, and I should see victory from this battle, although a very narrow one. Here's the result of the battle. So we deployed 2,300, close to 3,400, against the enemy's 3,600. We ended up losing half our force, 1,140 men roughly, leaving about 1,200 men, while the enemy lost their entire force with only the reinforcements, some of them remaining, 174 men. Right. Highest killers of the battles goes to the musketeers, 2 musketeer units in top, followed by a third, and the dragoons, and then the artillery. You would think the artillery would have killed the most, almost, since they were firing throughout the battle, but it was actually the musketeers. Fortunately, I guess these musketeers left the battle. Heavy losses on our army though, but the objective was secured, and we're gonna occupy. Wonderful, the Hanoverians are gone. They're captured and incorporated into our empire. I can recruit Fencible here, which is pointless to recruit. The university would be nice to have a third university, but right now I figure we're better off with a supply depot. And since I have my main recruitment center of Berlin here, we're gonna have to step up recruitment pretty darn rapidly. And clearly I'm gonna need more cavalry to cover the enemy's cavalry, and we're gonna have to have a lot of musketeers reserves to be brought up. So for this episode we gained territory, but we also lost one. We have a potential invasion here, and for the next one we'll deal with the Battle of Copenhagen. Here the enemy force is a lot more balanced. They've got 3 units of cavalry, a lot of infantry, a single unit of grenadiers. They've got 2 units of sharpshooters and a pretty good general against our main force here. I have actually less cannons than the enemy, I would say. They have 2 regular 6-pound batteries. I have 2 horse-drawn 6-pounder batteries, and those usually always forget to crew at least one of their guns. And with that, we're going to end the first episode here. Hopefully, though, I think you guys enjoyed it. And hopefully, I'll be seeing you guys for the next one. Bye.